Our first instinct is to raise the walls in defense. But pause for a second. Why do we need to defend? Why can't we simply take a step back, smile, and let them believe whatever they want? Imagine holding a burning coal in your hand, ready to throw it at someone during an argument who gets burned. First, the ego wants you to clutch that coal tightly, whispering, if you let go, you lose. But is winning a meaningless battle worth the pain of a scorched hand? So how do we avoid getting burned first? Observe your own reactions when challenged. When someone disagrees with you, instead of immediately pushing back, pause and ask yourself, do I really need to prove that I'm right? Is this worth disturbing my peace? 9 times out of 10, the answer will be no. Next, practice the art of listening. Most debates aren't about truth. They're about people wanting to be heard. When you stop trying to win a conversation and start truly listening, you'll be surprised at how people open up to you in silence. Real wisdom emerges, and finally remember, not everyone is ready to let go of their need to be right. Some people value winning arguments more than they value peace. They will try to pull you into endless cycles of debate, but here's the key. You don't have to attend every battle you're invited to. True strength lies in knowing when to step away. So the final question for you is this. Do you want to be the one who wins the argument, or the one who finds inner peace if true happiness is your goal? Maybe it's time to lower your sword. Step back and free your mind. Now, congratulations. You've already made it more than halfway through. Not everyone has the patience to pause in the rush of life and reflect deeply like this. So take a moment to acknowledge your progress. One simple like isn't just a gesture of support, it's a reminder of how far you've come, but don't stop. Now the finish line is just ahead. The most valuable insights always lie at the end of the journey, where you'll hold a clear map to letting go, finding peace and mastering your own happiness. Keep going because the best is yet to come. Number 6, expect less. There's a story about a beggar, expect less. Wandering the streets, his clothes tattered, his eyes deep and hollow as if they had witnessed a lifetime of storms. One day, a passerby asked him, "How can you remain so calm when you have nothing?" The old man smiled, squinting slightly as he replied, "Because I never thought I was supposed to have anything. We don't suffer because of what we lack. We suffer because of what we believe. We should have had an ideal relationship, a smooth career, a life without hardship. These expectations are like an invisible contract we unknowingly sign with life. But the irony is, life never agreed to those terms. And when reality doesn't align with our script, disappointment rushes in like a flood. Stoic philosophy teaches that the only way to find peace is to expect less. This doesn't mean giving up on everything. It means understanding that the world does not operate according to our desires. When you grasp this, you will no longer feel betrayed by life. Think about it. How many times have you been angry, because someone didn't treat you the way you expected? How many times have you felt frustrated because success didn't come when you thought it should? But have you ever asked yourself, who promised me that things would go my way? Seneca once said he suffers more than necessary. Who suffers before it is necessary? We torment ourselves with expectations of an uncertain future. But if you pause and take a look around, you might realize at this very moment, nothing is actually wrong. Things are simply not happening the way you expected them to. Now imagine this. What if you woke up tomorrow and decided to expect nothing? You don't expect anyone to love you in a certain way. You don't expect work to go smoothly. You don't expect every plan to unfold perfectly. Something strange happens when you do this. You start to appreciate the little things you once overlooked. A spontaneous smile, a quiet morning, a heartfelt conversation when you stop expecting so much. Even the simplest moments can bring you joy. Expecting less doesn't mean leading a dull life. It means learning to embrace life as it is. When you lower your expectations, you also reduce your fears. You stop worrying about losing things because you were never tightly attached to them in the first place. Like a leaf floating down a river, you begin to drift freely without resistance. And so the real question is, do you truly need everything you desire to be happy? Or is it your very desires that are causing your suffering today? Try living without imposing expectations on the world. Observe, listen, accept everything as if you were a traveler stepping into an uncharted journey. Because when you stop demanding that life follow your script, you will discover something remarkable. Life has always been beautiful in its own way. You just never noticed seeing the world with eyes free of expectation brings peace. But then come another challenge. How do you protect that peace? Life not only pulls us into our own desires, but also weighs us down with the expectations of others. If you say yes to every request, if you let others dictate how you spend your time and energy, are you truly in control of your life? Perhaps it's time to embrace another powerful principle, the courage to say no. Number 7, say no. More often, have you ever watched those sci-fi say no more often? Movies featuring magical doors, doors that can take you anywhere to a land of joy, a place filled with light, or even a chaotic abyss. But here's the strange thing in real life. Such a door exists right within your reach. It doesn't require a golden key, nor does it rely on magic. It's a single word. No, a simple word yet. If used correctly, it can unlock the door to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. On the other hand, if you hesitate to step through it, you may find yourself trapped in a never-ending maze where every turn leads to commitments you never truly wanted. Imagine this: you're standing before a lavish banquet, overflowing with tempting dishes. You're not really hungry, but the host keeps urging you to try a little. You feel guilty turning them down, so you take a bite. Then another. Before you know it, you've overeaten, feeling heavy, exhausted, maybe even regretful. Life is like that banquet. Invitations, responsibilities, and opportunities constantly present themselves, and we often feel pressured to say yes. But just as overeating makes the body sluggish, taking on too much wears down the mind. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes not from pleasing everyone, but from mastering oneself. Epicurus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." If you want to live a meaningful life, you must learn to let go of what isn't truly yours to carry. Try seeing rejection not as turning something down, but as making a choice. When you say no to one thing, you're not rejecting people or opportunities. You're simply choosing a path that aligns better with who you are. Remember, a great artist isn't the one who paints everything they can, but the one who knows how to erase the unnecessary. Strokes, a fulfilling life doesn't come from doing it all, but from carefully choosing what's worth your time and energy. If you're not used to saying no, the world around you won't take it lightly. People will react. They will be surprised. Some may even feel disappointed. But that's a good sign. If you've never let anyone down, chances are you've sacrificed too much of your freedom just to please others. So what if you start saying no today? Here's the fascinating part. Once you begin practicing selective rejection, something unexpected happens. Life feels lighter. The truly important things will naturally rise above the noise. You'll have more time to focus on what genuinely brings you joy. And most importantly, you'll start to feel free, because at the end of the day, happiness isn't about having more, it's about carrying less. Are you ready to open that door? Sometimes a single no can change everything. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by meaningless yeses, drop a say no as a commitment to yourself. That from today onwards, you will curate your life with greater intention. Number 8, embrace discomfort to grow. Discomfort to grow. Imagine yourself as a sharp blade without the grindstone, without pressure and friction. The edge dulls, becoming useless. Life operates in the same way if you constantly avoid discomfort. Refusing to face challenges, you will never sharpen yourself. Never evolve into the strongest version of who you can be. The Stoics believed that hardship, Inc. Convenience and adversity are not obstacles to growth, but the very conditions that allow us to thrive. You've probably heard the saying, if you want to be strong, you must be willing to endure. But have you ever wondered why happiness and peace don't come from ease, but rather from embracing discomfort? Stoicism does not seek a life of convenience. Instead, it cultivates the inner strength to confront difficulties. Hedon Epicus once said, difficulties are what show men's character, therefore, when trouble comes, think of yourself as a wrestler, whom God like a trainer has paired with a tough young man for practice. Challenges are not punishments. They are training grounds, just as a wrestler must train with a stronger opponent to refine his skill. But how exactly do we learn to embrace discomfort rather than resist it? Think of professional boxers. They don't just endure the pain of being hit. They actively train with harder punches. Every day, this not only toughens their bodies, but conditions their minds to withstand hardship in daily life. This principle can be applied in small yet powerful ways. Wake up earlier than you want to and train your discipline instead of indulging in extra sleep when faced with a daunting opportunity. Step outside your comfort zone instead of retreating into the familiar. If there's a difficult conversation waiting,